Welcome to Option G, where we are going to continue our look at finance and money in your life, starting off with a home buying project. You guys should have, well, if you did the auto loan option, you had a little bit more information about loan terms and interest rates and everything that goes into that. Buying a house is a lot more complicated because it's just so much more money. So this first week or so, we're going to go through how to set yourself up for buying a house. Then we'll end this 3 weeks making sure that all of the pieces of money and finance you learned this year, you understand how it all really does impact your credit score. The first thing that we have to do, though, is look at different cities. When we're talking about buying a house in Denver and then buying that same exact house, maybe just south in Colorado Springs, will cost very differently. Where you live completely determines how expensive homes are and what you need to do to buy a house. So the first thing we're going to do is you guys are going to research 3 different states that you might want to live in one day. And then tomorrow you will research homes that are in those cities to do for the rest of the project. But for just today, just to help make it nice and simple, you're just going to look at 3 different cities and you're going to research what's the median household income. So in that city, what's the typical amount that an adult makes at their job? And then you're going to also look at what is the median house value in that city and state that you chose. What is a typical house cost? Now, the median house value, like I said, is just a typical cost. In every single city, there's going to be cheaper homes than that number you find and homes that are way more expensive. The median is just to give us a typical sort of idea of how expensive that city is. And then you guys tomorrow will find the homes in those actual cities, which might be lower or higher than the median house, that typical cost that you find here. So you're going to first open up HomeFair, and you guys can pick any 3 cities that you want. They can all be in Colorado. You can just pick 3 different places within Denver if you just want to look at Denver. But I would push you to try to look at different spots in the country. So over here, we're going to go over to city profiles. And if you know the zip code, you can go ahead and type it in, or you can go ahead and just select the city and the state. So maybe I want to do Denver. Now, when you do the city-state option, you have to choose a zip code because even within a city, depending on where you live, the cost of living and how expensive the homes are will be very, very different. So you can either just randomly choose one or go to maps.google.com. Loading. Type in the city, comma, and the state that you're looking at. And then you can try to sort of pick a spot on the map. Waiting for it to load, just a second. We can take a look on the map so we can grab a zip code of the actual space that you want to live. So right here, maybe I want to live in the west side and I want to live somewhere over here. So I'm just literally going to click, and down here, you're going to see that it will pop up a zip code. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to live in this sort of the west part of Denver here. I would want the zip code 80204. So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to find 80204 to get that report. Now, the things that you need for each city, so there's going to be a lot of information for you to see about how many males versus females, how many never married, separated, all of these different things for Denver. Then they'll compare it to Colorado. Then they'll compare it to the entire nation. The first thing you need is to go to income and jobs, the median household income. And that's what we're going to grab for the first number in our chart, 41,473. 73, that is the median amount that most people make in Denver. And I'm also going to put in the specific zip code that I decided to use so I remember for the future. So that's how much a typical person makes living in Denver in that zip code. Now let's look at how much a house costs. So when you scroll down a little bit more, right here at the top of the residential, you'll see the median house value. is $300,500. $300,500. Where compared to the rest of Colorado, Colorado is actually a little bit more expensive than that neighborhood, but the nation median is actually lower, which is pretty typical, unfortunately. Denver is one of the more expensive cities to live in right now, so it doesn't really surprise me that our median house value is bigger than the nation. And boom, I just got my first city. You'll want to do this for at least three other cities. Please do not use this Denver 80204. I want you to do your own research. But your goal is to get 3 different cities. Make sure to grab how much a typical person makes in that zip code, and then go farther down and grab the median house value of that zip code. And then tomorrow, you will actually find houses in those cities and states for the rest of the project.